These two stay behind because it helps us. So me and Josh will
You follow the flow. I have a
actually
flow.
not the red one. So I'm already behind. Yeah, so it's just like
Alright, afternoon. So just a heads up on guest speaker. So next Tuesday morning we have our double period, and at the beginning of that we have an old boy who's now an economist coming in to talk to you about what being an economist as a job is like, and he'll give you a bit of a spiel about what it was like, doing economics at school and then getting on to into that as a field. So hopefully that's interesting to you. Yes.
Did you teach him?
Did I teach him? No, I didn't. He was before my time. Not long before my time, but yeah, a little bit. And then secondly, on the 15th, which is the following week, I have another guest speaker coming in from Massey University. He's a professor of economics at Massey, and he's going to do a case study on externality for you to help with your, or just give you some context and give you someone else talking about it other than me. So hopefully, again, you can ask them questions about economics at university, but also hopefully he takes us through something interesting that's kind of a different tack to what I would do. Any questions on either of those two things? So hopefully that's interesting to you. Sweet, so today we're going to start with a bit of graphing practice for externalities. We've done some of the Kahoots to practice to look at the graphing, but today I want you guys to be actually doing it. So we're going to use our little mini whiteboards. Because I want to see that you actually know how to draw these graphs, because otherwise when your assessment comes around, you might not know what you're doing. Yes?
Oh.
Cool, so guys, can you grab a whiteboard and whiteboard marker, some tissue? Keep an eye on the few students.
That's on camera. That's on camera. Help me! Here, Mom. Bro, that's funny. My dad did Steve. She's so Steve.
Alright, so just a reminder of how we're going to be using our mini whiteboards responsibly. We're just doing the task as asked, and we're not doing anything else. Okay? There are more tissues here if anyone needs them, so there's like cool. So yes. There is neither weekly notes nor e-learn this week.
Oh.
Yes. Gotcha. Cool. So. Alright, so what I need you all to do is we are drawing some externalities graphs, and then we are going to be doing some key things on the graphs. We need to be identifying market failures, and then we need to look at some interventions. Okay, so on the board are going to be some key things that I want you to show me. So first up, can you draw me a negative externality of consumption? No. You just need to label your curves. Yes. Thank you, Liam. Yep, looks good for Mana. Yes. MB. Yes, that's good, Rashik. Yep. Yes. Yes, don't rub it out once you're finished because we're going to be adding to it.
Sorry, it's
Benjamin.
My bad.
Kind of, Johan. Ben, can you show me again?
Sorry.
Yes, Davida.
MB.
What, you're the only
What? No. He got
Yeah, alright, so
Oh, wait. Did you say MQ?
there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with being wrong, as long as Cool. So, guys, hopefully all of you have now got a graph that looks like this. Sepa, can you grab a whiteboard? Ready to go? Cool. So, we know it's a negative externality because the socially optimal equilibrium is less than the private equilibrium. We know that it is of consumption because it is the marginal benefit curve rather than the marginal cost curve that is being shifted. Next up, now add the dead weight loss. Yes. 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 Yes, Pamana, that's good. Yes. Yep. Yes. You colored it, but yes. Yes.
Oh, regulation.
No members. Yes, Ramon, thank you. Yes, Ben. Yep.
Increase the.
Yes, members.
Like you pre-fired with the
Alright, so your dead weight loss should be here. Cool. Anyone unsure on why that's the case? Yes, so on. So, the dead weight loss, remember, for a negative externality always points to the left, and it always points to the socially optimal equilibrium, which is where the social curve intercepts. Yeah? So it's a triangle that points to that. Alright? The reason, guys, can anyone give me the reason as to why dead weight loss has happened? That's how you identify it, where you know where to draw it. Why has it happened? Yes, Liam.
In this case, it is because there is negative side effects.
Yes, yes. I mean, there's negative side effects of this. That's why we have.
Oh wait, no, sorry, I forgot.
So the reason why there's dead weight loss in this market is that this market has overconsumption of this product, right? So between these two quantities, all right, there is a negative side effect happening in the market, and we would rather be at a lower quantity where that side effect's not in play, all right? Next up, you need to add the spillover costs. No.
Oh, no.
So, all
Right.
spillover.
You see the little.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
But a little bit about
Yes.
Well,
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Liam. Yes, Johan. Yeah.
That was that whole word no.
So,
I think we've come to a quick bit of a review.
the spillover. The spillover, remember, is defined as between the two curves, all the way up to the market equilibrium. So therefore, it encompasses the dead weight loss as well. All right. So the externality. So in your assessment, when you're defining the externality, you're going to talk about the whole spillover effect, right? Being this whole shape, this whole. What shape did we decide this was? Parallelogram. Yeah. So it's the whole parallelogram. Yes. Hello. Music listening, someone? And so, in your assessment, you're going to talk about how the spillover cost is the entire area. Right? But you're also going to identify that there is a dead weight loss of this market, in this market, of this area. Okay? So both are an effect. Cool? Alright, next thing. Now intervene with a tax. So this is going to be a bit more tricky. Alright? If you need to redraw the whole thing, do so. If you'd like to just add your new curve, do so. You do not need to have the spillover and stuff identified if you want to leave them off.
So can I perfectly
Yes, when I say tax, I'd like the entire issue solved. Yep, that was pretty good, Pomona. Yes, that's good with Nathaniel. No, Johan, try again. Yep, that's good, Liam. The labeling on here, you said you have to fully be MC plus tax. Otherwise, yeah, it's like a right? Yeah.
Or do you just fully solve the table?
Yes, that's good.
Why is there no amount of
But is this the new table?
I got more whiteboard markers here, I need to take off.
We start late, can I please have one?
Yeah.
Would you keep it as put it in front of line?
I'll put it as MC still. Yeah. Yes, looks good, Nimbus. Yes, thank you.
just add a new line?
I think it's only
No, he was.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm fully forced, so what am I doing?
I think it's meant to be labeled L.
Yep, pretty good. Yes, thank you. Cool, so looks like most of you have identified that we need to bring our social equilibrium to here. Therefore, we're going to need to intersect here. So, in order for us to completely remove the spillover effect, we need to bring the equilibrium quantity down to the social optimal equilibrium, which means bringing it to here. So the tax has to be by this amount. Yeah. So in your assessment, you're going to need to point out, I want to move the tax by this amount, right? Not by a random amount, but you need to specify how far you're going to need to move it for it to eliminate. Cool. Next up, now add deadweight loss. Yes, thank you, Rashid. You did this in advance. Yes, that's good. No. Yes, Charlie, thank you. No, not quite.
Oh, my bad. It's
not that.
That's that one.
If I had it from
No. Yes, Ben, that looks pretty good.
Is it because?
So is it because it's the change of
Yes.
That's not very nice. Calling someone by their dad's name is not very nice.
This is unfortunate.
Yes, that's good. Yes, Liam.
No, wait, it's this.
All right, so. Yes, that's good. All right, can I just pause and tell you guys a story for a second?
Yes.
So, on a Sunday morning, I take my son to golf lessons. All right, and I'm sitting there watching, right, on my little camping chair, watching him doing his practice shots, and each of the little boys and girls have a little bucket of golf balls, right? Maybe 20 or so golf balls in each bucket, and the coach tells them, we're practicing this, and then they all take their shots off into the distance. Now, obviously, some of the kids are going to finish before the other kids, right? Because they're not all hitting exactly at the same pace as each other, yeah? And I always think it's really interesting to observe the behavior of the children once they're finished and they're having to wait for their peers, right? Personally, I'm very proud that my son usually just stands pretty patiently and waiting, right? Some of the other children, on the other hand, are like whacking their golf clubs into the ground, digging up the dirt, or they're like swinging around clubs dangerously near people, or they just completely get distracted and start like wandering around into the play of the golf balls, right? Does everyone get my point?
Yes.
Cool, thank you.
So,
Yes.
is your son good at golf?
He's alright, he's been playing for a couple of years now.
How old is he, sir?
He's 9. Well, he's 9.
You play golf yourself, sir? 4.
Yes.
So what's your head goes
Whoa. Alright, so the dead weight loss. Hopefully everyone got to the identifying that the dead weight loss from a tax is this triangle here. Alright. So had a question before from Kalis as to why is it that this one's not pointing to the left when in a negative externality they point to the left. So this dead weight loss is not caused by the externality, right? Therefore it doesn't have to follow the rules of the dead weight loss in an externality. This is the dead weight loss caused by a tax, and so it's following the rules of dead weight loss caused by a tax. Okay? So the reason why at this point there is dead weight loss of here. Remember, dead weight loss is about allocated efficiency, right? Is the consumer and producer surplus maximized? At this point, right, the consumer surplus should be this triangle here, below the demand curve above the price, and the producer surplus should be above the supply curve below the price. But because we've forced the quantity to cut off here, surplus on these two little triangles here is not being gained by anybody. Therefore, there's a dead weight loss from the tax. Does that make sense? Yep. Cool. All right, so now we're going to try a different intervention. So we're going to intervene with an ad campaign.
Well.
So you might want to rub out and redraw your graph. I'm going to attempt to just rub out.
Bang, 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 everything.
Oh, you know what? I might want to make it a bit wider. So you don't need to adjust the. I'd like you to adjust the dead weight loss and the spillover effect as well. If that makes sense. Yes, but can you draw on the dead weight loss and spillover effect and show the change? Yes.
Like it's like encouraging them to change the route, right? But it's not actually forcing them to.
So do we need to equilibrium?
So it won't be like.
Yeah, that's pretty good, Charlie. No, I need to see all the equilibriums.
Where is it? Where is it? Color the
Yeah, looks pretty good, Nathaniel. Thank you. Yeah, that looks good. Good colours. Whoa, no. No, shh. You just gotta sit there.
Oh, and then I said efficiently, mate.
We can have to approve my also.
I know. Yeah.
Coach's fault.
I'll write it. I do.
That's fine, Liam. Yeah, Gian, but can you add the dead weight loss and the spillover shaded areas?
No, that's it. Is it?
Yeah, that's good.
The G is. G from the sound.
Yep, that looks good. Thank you, BJ.
So is it a benefit?
So, Rashik has a good question. All right. He's asking, is this a beneficial ad campaign? Do you mean are we trying to encourage? What do you think?
Yes.
We're not, because there's too much consumption. So
Yeah, so this is a negative externality of consumption, right? This is cigarettes or alcohol or something we don't want people having. So the ad campaign is going to be discouraging demand, right?
which means that will be
Does that make sense?
yes.
So we're trying to convince people, you know, instead of taxing them so they can't buy it, we're trying to say, hey, maybe you shouldn't buy this because it's bad for you, right? So, all right, so you're going to shift MSB to the left, label it MSB1. Sorry, shifting MB to the left. And our new equilibrium is here. The new dead weight loss here, and the new spillover is this whole area in here.
Which is the new dip on the middle.
This triangle now here. Before it was this. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Which one of these policies was more allocably efficient? The tax. Because even though it created a deadweight loss, it removed all of the spillover costs, including the deadweight loss component of the spillover costs. Which one of these policies is more equitable? The ad campaign. Why?
Oh, I love that.
Consumer sovereignty.
Thank you, Ben. So, yes, the ad campaign which is drawn is less allocably efficient, but it is more equitable because it doesn't force people to change their behavior. It encourages them to consume less, but doesn't tell them they have to change their behavior. Because the key thing about equity in a is that not everyone who partakes in this behavior is the ones causing the negative externality. Right? Like, for example, if you are consuming alcohol, it doesn't mean that every single person who consumes alcohol causes a negative externality. Right? Some people drink their whole lives and never have a health issue, never do drunk driving, never do vandalism or whatever, right? But some people who maybe only drink for a little bit might do all of the above. And they cause a lot of externality for a small amount of consumption. Does that make sense? And so, when we're looking at if a policy is equitable, we need to focus in on, well, is the policy forcing every single person who consumes this product to change their behavior, whether they are causing the externality or not? Or is it a more targeted policy that's trying to encourage those people who are doing the poor behaviors to change their behavior? Yeah? Like, for example, the ad campaign, right, where it's saying, don't drink drive, or, make sure you know your legal limit, all that sort of stuff, right? That is not necessarily targeted at every single person who drinks alcohol, is it? It's targeted at people who are more likely to be breaking the law or doing the wrong things and therefore causing the externality. Yeah? And therefore it is more equitable because it is targeting the people who are causing the externality and not targeting the people who are not causing the externality. Yeah? So if you really want the key to nailing the equity part of your assessment, which hopefully you do if you're going for an excellence, you need to be thinking about the idea of your policy. Does it hit everybody, or can you choose a policy that will target just the people who are causing the externality, right? Or try and target who are causing the externality, right? Can anyone think of an example? Let's think about if we were thinking about the negative. Yes.
Like with littering, like certain things people litter, like plastic bottles or something. Like a lot of people get plastic bottles, but not everyone litters them. So like you wouldn't like put a tax on plastic bottles because that wouldn't be equitable to people who don't litter.
Exactly. So if you were trying to target just, everyone buys things that come in packaging, right? If you were trying to just do a policy that would penalize the people who are doing littering, what would that look like? So you could put advertising on it to try and encourage the people who maybe are littering to not do so, potentially. Yes?
You could increase the amount they have to pay, increase the fines that they get caught.
Yep. So definitely. So fines is a really important one, right? Fines are very equitable because hopefully when you're fining people for poor behavior, you've got the right person, right? You're caught speeding, cop gives you a fine, right? They didn't go, well, I know a bunch of people are speeding today, so I'm just going to fine everybody equally, right? That'd be a bit unfair, right? Same thing with, you know, if you're on your cell phone or whatever while you're driving. If you, like lots of people are doing it, but if you are identified by a police officer who wants to fine you for it, then they can internalize some of that externality by targeting you with a fine. Yes? Yep. So putting fines in place is shifting behavior by discouraging people from doing this thing, right? Because remember, demand is made up of willing and able, right? So if you make people afraid that they're going to get a fine if they do this thing, then they're less willing to do the thing, right? Yes, Ben, your question?
Would you say police officers have like a major role in internalizing externalities?
Yeah, probably. I think because they're essentially trying to enforce antisocial behavior, right, or poor behavior. And a lot of the poor behavior that comes from, that is negative externalities, is policed by the policing system, right? Yeah, Johan?
I was going to say, why would fines also cause dead weight loss?
Why would fines also cause dead weight loss? So, because the thing is that a fine isn't going to, a fine's not going to cause dead weight loss like a tax will, right, over here. But it's not going to completely eliminate this dead weight loss. But the reason it's not going to completely eliminate this dead weight loss is that you can't, like, you're not completely discouraged, like a fine is not so severe that you're completely discouraging people from doing the thing, right? But that's a really good point. The more severe or extreme the penalty gets, the more likely it is that people will reduce their behavior, right? You know, if it was like, oh, if you get caught littering, I'm going to chop off your hands. People are going to be like freaking out about littering, right? You'll be walking around like panicking the whole time, and you're not going to do it. It's going to really heavily discourage people from that negative behavior, right? Maybe it's an extreme example, but you know what I mean. Like the more, like, whereas if it's like, oh, if you get caught littering, it's a $2 fine. People are going to be like, whatever, that's never ever going to change my behavior, right? But if it was like, if you get caught littering, it's a $5,000 fine, you're going to be like, uh-oh. You're freaking out about it, right? So it kind of, you can get rid of most, you can actually, you could have a sliding scale. $2 fine up here, $5,000 fine down here, right? And anything in between. You're never going to completely eliminate it though, because there's still going to be some people who just don't care. Yes?
Would you be marked down for using an extreme one like
probably, because I'd like, this is the first thing that came to my mind for some reason, but I'd like the consequences to be economic. So can we like stick into a $1 fine would be much better? Yeah. Yes, Ben.
Are they like? Is it able to make fines means listed? Because then it'll eliminate the fact that people with money, they're like, oh, I love, it's only like $100. I'm a millionaire. I can pay it. Like, is that a possibility to make the means system?
Yep. So in Norway, they have means tested speeding, like traffic infringement fines. But apparently there was one case where there was a guy, like a really rich CEO or something, who was driving his Ferrari or something at like some ridiculous speed, got caught, and ended up paying like a $100 and something thousand US dollar fine for a speeding ticket, whereas like the average citizen only pays like $100, $200 or whatever. Yeah. So I mean, I can't remember exactly what the numbers were, but it was like way more because it's means tested.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. Cool. All right, guys, we're going to move on to using your booklet again. So can you pack up the work with your whiteboards and put them back in the box?
Sure. Like efficient? Yeah, you notice the camera call? Amazing. Let's think about
The fact that you're
Alright, once your once your new whiteboards are away, can you get your booklet out, page 29?
Is it a recording?
Personally, I would be smashing my phone or Alright, so you actually have a coach that just does it for you. Okay, so hopefully you have your booklet with you. If you do not, can you look at someone else's booklet? So we did this the other day. We drew the negative externality of consumption, and we are now going to apply some of these key things that we've just been discussing. So at the current market equilibrium, cigarettes are underpriced and overconsumed. Some different spillovers, and in order to achieve social equilibrium, we need to decrease the consumption. Then remember we did this table. This is the last thing we did last time. Alright. We looked at the different curves that would shift. And we gave all these different policies a rating on efficiency, allocated efficiency, and equity. Alright. So we started off with legislating, which was kind of a mixture of changing the age, but also just changing the marketing, etc. It shifts the marginal benefit curve, like what we've drawn over here. There's some efficiency because it gets rid of some of the dead weight loss. There's some equity because it gives some power to people to make different decisions. But it doesn't necessarily solve either thing. Alright? When you are choosing policies for your assessment, what did I recommend that you do? You had two sensible options, or hard mode. What did I suggest last week, Swane?
You choose like, or you choose two that like do the same thing, and choose one that does it more than the other.
Yep, so choose two that do the same thing and choose one that does more than the other. So, for example, you might choose funding public education programs and subsidizing stop smoking programs for nicotine patches, right? You might choose these two. About the same in terms of equity, very equitable policies, but this one's going to be much more efficient than this one because it'll shift the curve by more. Yep, so that would be a sensible strategy to choose for your assessment. What's the other sensible strategy to choose? Go hard. Yes, Lingy?
Too similar and allowing
So, no, I'm talking about, you could pick two that are similar, and how they work together. That's not quite the strategy I was talking about though. Yes, Nathaniel?
Pick two complete opposite policies.
Yep, so for example, which two would you pick from this list?
I pick enforce main packaging and placing tax on tobacco.
Yep, awesome. So placing a tax has high efficiency but lower equity, whereas enforcing plain packaging has lower efficiency but high equity. Because in your assessment for the excellence part, the justification at the end, you have to do comparing and contrasting, right? So it's easy to contrast when they have complete different benefits, right? Or, like Sawane said before, if you choose this one and this one, you can compare and contrast and you can say, well, comparing them, they're both very equitable policies because of these reasons. But contrasting them, this one's much more effective on allocated efficiency because it moves the curve by more because of these reasons. Yeah. Cool. So on page 31 it says compare and contrast policies. Policy 1. So we're going to start with the tax. Alright, we're going to choose option 2. And option 3, which is hard mode, is choose these two at the bottom, which are pretty much exactly the same in terms of impact, and try and argue your way out of why they're different to each other. Do that at the bottom. So we're adding a tax to this. Yes. ESO.
Oh wait, is it equilibrium switch?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Wait, this is so like
order. Oh my god, are you serious?
So I think that that's.
You should be lower here.
I'm confused. If you,
Oh, did you see?
Oh, there was a lot up there for the
Why not?
Because shouldn't the socially optimal one be the higher one?
Yes, you're right. Yeah, so it was right. This is the market equilibrium, and then the socially optimal price is here. At the socially optimal equilibrium, but all the way up to the marginal benefit curve. We need to label our curves. Cool. So this is the graph that we drew earlier with the tax intervention. The yellow shaded area was the pencil shaded area plus the yellow shaded area is the spillover effect. The yellow shaded area is the deadweight loss incurred by the externality. After the tax is in place, the brown shaded triangle is the deadweight loss from the tax. Cool. So, it says here to illustrate the impact, which we've just done. Explain how effective the policy is in bringing the market equilibrium to the socially optimal equilibrium. So, how effective is it?
Very good.
Yep. So we're going to do a statement. All right.
Yes, crazy how like starts as libertarian. I think it comes out to the interpretation of the Constitution, right? Whether you interpret rights and powers, or whether you
So this policy is 100% effective in bringing QME to QSE. It's shown in the graph where the tax shifts the quantity in the market from EM to ESO. Yeah.
Because if you change the Constitution, then you change the structure.
Cool, and we're going to run out of time to write the next part, but let's just discuss it quickly. So the second part says, explain the impact of the policy on equity. Is it fair or unfair on who? So, who is it fair to put this tax onto? Well, it's going on to all smokers, right? Who's it more fair to put onto? Which smokers?
Ones that need medical care.
Heavily addicted smokers, potentially.
That's mine.
Yes, ma'am.
The ones that need more medical attention.
Yeah, the ones who need more medical attention,
Causing the externality.
causing the externality.
Back.
Yes.
The one with like adverse family members.
The ones with more at-risk family members. Guys.
Sorry.
So when you're drilling into the efficiency, the point is, when you're talking about the efficiency, your paragraph, your sentence can be quite quick, right? Because you're basically just saying, you moved it the whole way or only some of the way. Yeah. And you just reference the graph as to how much it moved. The equity part's going to be a bit more nuanced, right? You need to actually explain. The tax is fair on people causing the externality, such as people who do this. But the externality, the tax is unfair on who? Yeah, on the people who aren't causing the externality, such as people like this, right? Does that make sense? Cool. All right, thanks guys. You can pack up and head off.
Wait, we have more. How much does that cost? So you like ask them, like, hey, I gotta do it, can I get it? Like, can you guys sponsor me?
My bottles from Club.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Money left.